be doing the third speech in the book. This is titled "Stop and Smell the Cactus." And she's saying this is kind of her story of personal growth. And she also shared with me how she likes our group here, and she thinks it's a great group to help practice and get confidence in speaking and being with others. So let's welcome Nancy Duckett.
Stop and smell the cactus. You might say, we have this cactus here out of my garden in the front yard. You might say, that doesn't sound right. And actually, the original where that came from is, don't hurry, don't worry. You're only here for a short visit, so be sure to smell the flowers along the way. This is attributed to Walter Hayden. It's the world's first full-time tournament professional golfer who won 11 professional major championships, only second to Jack Nicklaus, who won 18. So I'm going to share a personal story with you tonight on the pitfalls and the discoveries I made by postponing work-life balance. Seems appropriate tonight with the discussion of octo work, octo days, 8 days a week, but we all tend to try to push that envelope. But what I wanted to share really is what I ran into by actually not stopping to smell the roses or the cactus in the desert. Not that you can necessarily smell cactus, but some of you may know that I recently left a high-pressure telecommunications position, and I'm currently conducting a job search in addition to potentially looking at marketing consulting. And what I realized about work-life balance is basically the lack of it. The fact that I had found myself working while driving to work, eating lunch at my desk, seeing 5 o'clock come up and saying, great, I've got a couple more hours. I can get some more work in because I just spent the entire day in meetings. What that did was that actually made me a all work, no play type of individual. And this, you might say, okay, you might say that it was the employer that did this, and it really is not entirely the employer's doing. I can tell you, I have some accountability for this. I realized that I was ignoring the beautiful sunset that I could see out of my office window and saying, I can do one more email, rather than taking the time to appreciate that and heading home. And you need to kind of give yourself permission to say, work is done, it's time to regenerate, take time to kind of pause and appreciate the beauty around us. Do you stop during the day sometimes and look at the picture of your kids, grandkids, that vacation trip, that wonderful sandy beach with the palm tree swaying in the warm breeze? And what did that do for you? That kind of made you stop and look at, kind of calm down, hop off that treadmill, the electronic age, and say, appreciate nature and kind of take that time to relax and take a deep breath. So these pauses basically give you that opportunity to realize that there is more to it than just that work, that life needs to be balanced on either end. Yes, there's that push to meet the deadlines, but there's also taking care of yourself. And that actually allows us to be more creative, innovative, and not so closed-minded and so stressed and focused. One of those late nights that I had in the office, I happened to run into a coworker who said, wow, did you notice that fabulous sunset out there? I think there was some rain in the air, so there was moisture that created a really beautiful sunset. And I said, yeah, I noticed it, but I just continued to work on the computer. And she said, well, you know, I've been taking this painting class, and I'm painting this lovely landscape of a sunset. And she says, why don't you come to the class? So she encouraged me to sign up for this painting class at the community college. And it was a challenge to take this class. I have to tell you, for someone who was so focused on work, to leave the office at 5:15 every Tuesday to get there to take this class. However, it gave me an opportunity to really focus on kind of my surroundings. I really began to see the sunrise and the sunset in quite a different way. It was kind of I can paint that. You know, it's like I really like to, you know, take some photos and paint that. So what I discovered is you need to be in the moment, really to allow you to notice things like the sunset and things like blooming cactuses. Give yourself permission to pause and take that moment. Sometimes it's just good to take a deep breath and just reflect on something beautiful. And you don't have to wait until there's time, because how many of us have said, oh, well, I'll do that when I have time, or I'll get to that when I retire. It's important to take time out every day to do just something to renew yourself. As Dale Carnegie put it, one of the most tragic things I know about human nature is that all of us tend to put off living. We are all dreaming of some magical rose garden over the horizon instead of enjoying the roses that are blooming outside our windows today. So I'm going to ask you, so the next time you say to yourself, if only I had the time, I would, incorporate the time to appreciate the sunset, sunrise, the lone swallow standing in the desert, and don't wait to take that painting class, or that bike ride up the mountain, or that hike up to Nook Peak and the hike back. Stop for coffee with a friend, or go to the farmer's market. Here's what I'd like you to do. I have a slip of paper here, a pen. Write down what you plan to do tomorrow. Cup of coffee with a friend, or enjoy that sunset. Wrap it up with a little bow, slip it in your pocket, and remember to do that tomorrow. Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster.